Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast found in the attraction entertainment community. Whether an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. Are you happy now, Sam? Yes, last week, as you know, we kicked off the show with content not written by us. Mm-hmm. We kicked it off when we let an AI write our intro. And it's funny, I asked it to write a script for an episode of Haunt Weekly and gave us 4 minutes of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And 4 minutes of crap at that. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we did do that, but this time around, hopefully Sam Farrell's brain is now firmly intact, mind no longer blown, order of the universe restored. Yeah. But if you want to see what blew his mind last week as we talked about artificial intelligence, you can check it out at hauntweekly.com or Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. You can also catch us at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. So anyways, as we were talking about last week, we dabbled with AI.
Yes, very briefly.
Yes, very, very briefly. And we had actually a fun episode with it. I did not come away with a glowing opinion of AI's writing ability.
No.
But it was at least interesting, and we had a good time doing it. So this week, we're continuing that with something that we were not able to fit into last week's episode. Talking about some AI backstories. We'll get into that in just a minute. But first thing is first, every week we ask a question of the week. And last week's question of the week was, what do you see AI being used for in haunts? And I have to say, I was very surprised at how much this got.
I was surprised at how many people are actively using
it.
Because from our experience, it's kind of crap.
Yeah.
But
well, and the other problem is the haunt industry is weird when it comes to technology. Mm-hmm. We are very gifted with Raspberry Pis. We're very gifted at microcontrollers and operating the haunts. We routinely do things like install security systems, timers. We do a lot of tech stuff. Mm-hmm. But yet at the same time, I'm pretty sure there are haunters probably still missing MySpace.
Yeah, that's the second time that's come up this week.
I know, it's been on my brain too because of Rory mentioning it, I think, at the event. But yeah, so it's we're kind of weird in the technologies we adopt and don't adopt. And I had figured AI would be a blind spot, but apparently not. Mm-hmm. So moving on to some of the answers to last week's question. First was Craig Watt.
I'm using it every day for content for social medias, character development, storyline, and set building.
That is a lot of stuff to use AI for.
It really is.
Yeah, and he was backed up by Dodge City Paintball, who actually posted a sample of an AI-generated poster they did for an event. So yeah, check out Facebook.com/HauntWeekly. Look for the question of the week there. That's where that answer was, so you can see the poster. Mm-hmm. We can't show you the poster here. This is an audio podcast.
Ooh.
Maximus, always here, but he says he's using it to replace stock backgrounds and other elements, and I think that may be one of the better uses.
Yeah.
If you're doing, paying for or otherwise struggling to create generic AF stuff for your haunt, yeah, okay, that may be something AI can help with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next was Amanda Hughes that said to reply to social media questions, in particular repeated ones, will you be open? What is the cost? All of those.
Yeah, and this is something AI probably would do very well at, actually, just because it's but also, chatbots exist that could answer those questions, without AI. Like Facebook, I know on Facebook you can create chatbots to answer those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
And that predates AI by a mile. But still, I do agree that could be a good use for it. Sam Farrell said, Sam Farrell, of course, talked about how we broke his brain. Mm-hmm. But the fun ones were Scott Musso, who said, to write haunt backstories.
Yes. And, and Micah Arnold, who said, used it for storyline ideas coupled with his own creativity.
Maybe that's coming up, right now.
Yeah.
Or in a minute. First things first, what we did for our haunt use especially have been working in the backyard.
Yeah. The plant color did not work.
You checked?
Yes.
Our actor area and significant portions behind the haunt are overrun. And the thing is, like, most people would only have to do like a once per year on this.
Yeah.
But a combination of living in New Orleans and the fact that our behind us neighbors have this really aggressive vine. We have to do it damn near constantly. We have tried everything legally we can do to kill it.
Yeah.
Because the roots for it are not on our side. They're on the other side of the fence. So we can't like just jump the fence and start attacking the roots. I would love to kill this vine completely.
Me too.
But it's pretty much impossible from our side. So you did a lot of work on that. We're trying to get that in order because that's also a lot of our workshop space for when we're building stuff for the haunt.
Exactly.
So we're trying to get our space in order, and we're kind of losing the fight. So if anyone out there has experience in killing aggressive vines and aggressive weeds, because we literally just dumped it like a fucking gallon of plant killer on it, and it laughed.
Yeah.
We heard it chuckling.
It got a couple of spots on it, and that was it.
It's not. Maybe, I mean, we got a few more days to wait technically before full effect is shown.
Yeah.
So maybe our story will change by the next recording. But we've seen this before. That vine will not. So if anyone's got any suggestions, let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, We would love your feedback on this because we're not. It's bad. We struggle to keep the plants we want alive and to kill the plants we want to kill. It's whatever the opposite of a green thumb is seems to be where we're at right now with this project.
Yeah.
All right. So last week, as we mentioned, we said
we haven't done this week's question.
Oh, this week's question of the week.
You skipped.
Oh my God, I did. You're right. This week's question of the week. Crystal,
what's your favorite haunt backstory?
Yes, that's an important question. What is your favorite haunt backstory? We actually talked about this a little bit. I really liked Rise. They're not so leaning into the backstory these days. As more attractions have come online, they've kind of struggled to tie it together. But like the first years they were open, when they just had the big house, and after they opened the asylum, they had a very long, intricate narrative about this mad doctor, mad scientist type, and conducting all these experiments. And then that tied directly into the Risewell Asylum. That just paired up perfectly. And they tried to keep it going a little bit with the hayride, about how that was the doctor's mad experiments of human and animal hybrid creatures.
Yeah.
It didn't. That didn't go as well.
No, that one fell apart a little bit.
Yeah, and with potential changes to all the and more attractions coming, I think they either need to completely redo the backstory or abandon it. And I love a good backstory.
Yeah.
What would you say is yours, though?
I'm biased. I like ours.
Okay, ours is clearly the best. Because we like, the thing is, like, when we went to create a backstory, the idea we wanted a story that would let us change the theme every year, but still keep the story. And so Bernie bringing back these villains from New Orleans past, and it's great. I mean, the bringing back the villains of old,
and I guess that's what my actual answer is I like that style of backstory, where you've got a main character who changes up the theme every year, but it's always built into the story.
And it doesn't have to be a character. You can have other things be the maypole, that you dance around. It could be, like, the place itself could be it. This attracts weird beings from all over time and space, and or you can have various things be the maple, but I agree that a character is great, and in fact I would say a character is ideal simply because now you've got a center haunt character. You've got the person, you can put them on the marketing, you can put them
exactly,
you can put them in places.
It works for a lot of different levels.
Yeah, it does.
Of your haunt to do that.
And I do like the fact that our haunt story can be either as surface level as you want it to be. Hey, look, it's a scary haunt about a fucking roadside attraction. Boom, end of story. That can be the story if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Or you can go into the mythos of Bernie Baxter and delve into it.
Yeah, I think whenever we hit 20 years, we should definitely do the story of Bernie. Because we've never actually done it.
Yeah, with the 10th year, we went back and did just like a greatest hits thing. Each room was a
Yeah.
greatest hit. That was actually fun.
It was.
It was a lot of fun to do, but I agree with you that the story of Bernie should be the 20-year one. And maybe if we're going to have a final season, that'd be a good one to go out on.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think I even know the full story of Bernie.
You know, I don't know the full story either because I haven't written it.
Exactly. You haven't written it. We've been talking about it forever.
I have written enough of the story of Bernie Baxter that we have our maypole. We can do our dance.
Yeah.
But I have not written the full story. Maybe I'll put some time into that coming up. So anyways, now on to the topic.
Yes.
Last week, we sat down with ChatGPT and had a long talk about haunting. And we asked it a lot of questions. However, we realized as we were going through the episode, one of the things that we found was most interesting and perhaps most entertaining was the backstories it came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we ran out of time, so we didn't do anything. So basically, we decided this week we're going to have it generate more backstories.
Yeah.
And do nothing but read, riff on, and rate the backstories created by ChatGPT.
Especially since so many of you apparently use it for this purpose.
Yeah. So basically, that's what we're doing this week. And here's a fun fact for everyone. We don't own these stories.
No.
Nobody does. So if one of these stories like lights your world on fire, Godspeed, good person. You go.
Mm-hmm.
You run. I can't stop you. I wouldn't if I could, but I can't stop you. So just go with God, as they say. Go have fun. Also, we typically are against like star ratings because it's so, I don't know, absolute and so not helpful. But here, I think we should give star ratings.
Okay.
I think we should try at least. Experiment. We experiment with ChatGPT. Let's experiment with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So,
anyways, basically, we're going to read the story. Crystal will read the first one. She's the oddball.
Okay.
Still the case, even though we haven't said that in a while. Still the oddball. So she'll take the odd numbers. I'll take the evens. And then we will discuss them. So, story one.
Okay. In the late 1800s, the small town of Ravenswood was home to a thriving mining industry. The town was built on a network of tunnels and shafts that ran deep beneath the earth, and the miners worked tirelessly to extract precious minerals from the earth. One day, disaster struck. A group of miners were working in one of the deeper shafts when the wall suddenly collapsed, trapping them deep underground. Despite the efforts of the rescue teams, the miners were never found, and it was assumed they had all perished in the collapse. Years passed and the town of Ravenswood fell into decline. The mines were abandoned and the once thriving community became a ghost town. But some say that the miners never left.
Well, they obviously never left.
They say that the spirits of those who died in the collapse still haunt the tunnels beneath the town, seeking revenge on those who abandoned them. Now you and your group have been asked with exploring the mines of Ravenswood. Armed only with flashlights and your wits, you must navigate the treacherous tunnels and evade the vengeful spirits that still linger there. Will you make it out alive? Or will you become the latest victims of the Ravenswood mines?
Thank you, Crystal. Right off the bat, ChatGPT, I'm marking you down for the name Ravenswood.
That's fine.
It's a fine name, but it is. Okay, knocking an AI for coming up with such a generic answer feels mean.
It does, because we laugh at the names in Deep Rock all the time of the missions.
That's true. But yeah, it's honestly, this one is a straightforward story of a mine collapse and miners being trapped. If you had a haunt that was mine focused,
yeah, or like you'd build caves and stuff,
or like you were in brewery and were actually in caves,
right?
It's a generic, basic story.
Yeah, I don't like that it says that you and your group are going in with flashlights only.
Yeah.
Like, there's flashlight nights, but those are because, you cheap out a little bit when you do those.
Yeah. Yeah. the feeling I get from ChatGPT here was it was trying to write a story for a very specific kind of haunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got to be a mining themed haunt. It has to be in caves. It has to be predominantly a flashlight night. You can tell that ChatGPT was really trying to hone in on just one very specific haunt. I mean, and on one hand, that's kind of neat if you happen to have that haunt, you know? But if you don't, this is just a complete mess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see a trail haunt making use of this. I don't see a traditional built haunted house. And the other problem I have is the haunts that have been cave or mine themed in my experience have not been particularly interesting because they lean so heavy into the darkness and into, you can't see things.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I could see this working for a dark ride that's mine themed.
Okay.
Because then you're getting into a cart.
Yeah.
And you could pretend that that's a mine cart.
Yeah.
I could see that working, but yeah, I don't see it working for
most
a full. Yeah.
Yeah, most haunts. Most attractions. And I think that's one of the problems. Like, I was kind of hoping that ChatGPT would provide us with, material that could be used just about any haunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the feeling, like I said, this one is super specific. If you do not have a haunt that's this themed, or cannot or would have difficulty setting up a haunt with this theme, it's a complete misfire. But that said...
Yeah, and we should say that the only instruction that
we gave it
yeah, was to create a haunted house backstory.
Haunted attraction backstory.
We didn't tell it a theme or anything to build off of.
We didn't give it theme ideas. We did not give it any information about the haunted attraction. We just gave it the most generic, bland, open-ended instructions of write us a haunted attraction backstory, and that's what it spit out. I actually will say, though, that even though I think there are issues with this story, because and the other thing is there's no antagonist here.
No, that's true.
There's no antagonist at all. I mean, the miners, yeah, they may be the ones doing the fucking haunting, but they're the victims.
Yeah.
The only people in the story are other victims. Nature is the antagonist. The ground, gravity, is your antagonist.
Yeah.
In the story. And I find that frustrating because, like, we talk a lot about how one of the points of storytelling is to build characters. Mm-hmm. Characters that you can include in your haunt.
Right.
So, like us, we built up Bernie Baxter as the antagonist. Mm-hmm. He's this evil asshole who comes back and brings other evil assholes with him. Mm-hmm. So you have, and clear antagonist and clear characters. This doesn't play into that. This doesn't give you a character. This doesn't give you anyone. And part of that is because, and this is true of all the stories, if I remember correctly, because I read them yesterday, but I haven't actually reread them today. So I'm a little bit blind here. Mm-hmm. But the main thing is, like, none of these give you a real character to center on. So one of the things I would have to do if I were going to use this story is I'd have to flesh out who these miners are, and also flesh out the magnet that owned the mine.
Yeah.
Make up some capitalist name and
exactly
have him be the cigar chomping asshole,
Mr. McBillion Butts.
Yeah, exactly. Draw him like in the Monopoly guy or whatever, and have something like that, so that you have an antagonist, you have a character that you're supposed to both hate and fear at the same time. You're supposed to, I want to conquer this person. You know what I mean? You're supposed, maybe not hate is a strong word, but someone you want to defeat.
Yeah. You
need a heel so that the heroes of the story, i.e. the customers, can vanquish the villain and emerge the other side victorious. And
it'd be kind of cool that if you vanquish the villain that's controlling the miners still in death, that, they get set free.
Yeah, because, like, the capitalist dude could have, like, died of a heart attack or something while trying to keep the media and the police away, or he could have had an accident trying to rescue them or something, and he could be in.
No. If he's this kind of capitalist, he's not trying to rescue anybody.
Yeah, true.
So
now maybe he died of old age later, because this was in the 1800s. So he could just died at any old point, and then his spirit is now back there, trapped by the miners, but he's leading them. He's still controlling them. I can see that working well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or he went to check on the mine because he hadn't like gotten his shipment of whatever they're mining, and
yeah,
they the spirits pulled him in, but then he took over. Again.
yeah, or
You know,
yeah.
I don't know. There's lots of ways you can
Then
play
that's
it,
the
make it
thing with
better.
this one is like for a star rating for me out of 5, I'm thinking it's like 2.5.
Yeah.
It's a okay story. 2.5 is average, legit average, right?
Mhm.
And that's the problem. It's a very mid story, isn't it?
It is.
It's very, very mid, and it requires you or to come in and fill in the details to actually make it work. So that's what I find frustrating about it. I really do think that this could be a very good story, but you would have to add a lot to it. You would have to come in. And honestly, I don't think it gives you anything other than the idea of a story of miners being trapped in a collapse.
Yeah.
I think that's all it really gives you. And I can give you that just there.
Yeah.
I just gave it to you. Didn't make you read 4 paragraphs to get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have a rating for it? Or you?
I'm just going with yours.
All right. That sounds good. Story number 2. In the late 1800s, real affinity for the 1800s with this. A wealthy family called the Fairchilds lived in a grand mansion on the outskirts of town. The Fairchilds were notorious for their extravagant parties and lavish lifestyle, but they were also known for the cruel treatment of their staff and servants. One day, during a particularly wild party, a group of angry servants decided they had had enough of the Fairchilds' mistreatment. They set fire to the mansion, trapping the family inside and burning them alive. Years later, the mansion still stands, abandoned and decaying. Rumors have long circulated about strange noises and ghostly apparitions seen on the property. Some say the vengeful spirits of the Fairchilds and their servants still haunt the mansion, seeking revenge on anyone who dares enter. As visitors explore the haunted attraction, they will encounter the ghosts of the Fairchilds and their staff, experiencing the horrors that led to their fiery demise. Through carefully crafted sets, lighting, sound effects, and live actors, the attraction will bring this tragic story to life, immersing visitors in a chilling and unforgettable experience. Okay, 2 notes right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
1, that last paragraph's got to go.
Yeah.
That should be conveyed in like everything else of your marketing.
Yeah, that's a do not tell.
That's clearly a tell not show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second question: if the servants burned the mansion down,
why are they ghosts?
Why is the mansion still standing?
Well, that too. Like there are abandoned ruins that have burned buildings.
Yeah, but if it burned enough to kill the entire family and the partygoers, and apparently the people who set the blaze, that raises another question right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how the servants got wound up inside of that. Because they trapped the family inside,
yes,
but it doesn't say anything about trapping themselves inside.
And it doesn't say anything about trapping the other partygoers. They said that this is during a particularly wild and raucous party.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there are guests, because that's kind of the nature of a party.
Mm-hmm.
So there's guests, there's the Fairchild family, and then there's the servant/staff. And the guests are just fucking dropped.
Yeah.
We have no idea what happened to them one way or the other. But apparently, the family died in this blaze, as did the servants who set it, even though they set the blaze after trapping the family inside.
Yeah.
This story makes no logical sense. Like, I get the idea of, I get the idea they're going for here. The other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is if I were going to set the story, and spoiler, this may be coming up later, I would have put it in the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go for a Great Gatsby angle. Mm. You know what I mean? Because that's when that was most famous. I mean, like in the 1800s also is such a huge range of dates. It's everything from 1800 to 1899.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happened in that century.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, when specifically was it? Was this, during, like, are we going back to, like, the capitalist years? Like,
mm-hmm.
like the vultures of capitalism type era, or is it something different? And so, yeah, this story is just all over the map as far as I'm concerned. I don't like this one. Gonna be honest.
No.
And part of my problem is, okay, this gives us an antagonist.
Yeah, it does.
The Fairchilds are the antagonist. Go ahead.
It gives us an antagonist. It gives us a setting that's more than just caves.
Mercifully, yes.
Yeah, it gives us the the people who were the victims of the antagonist.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tell you how you and your group are going to go through it.
No, it does give you all that marketing fluff at the end, which, like I said, just strike the marketing fluff. That should literally be every other section of your site should have that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the shit you put literally everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's not part of the backstory. So, yeah. And it's like, because the thing is, like, you do get an antagonist, but, like, I am not immediately scared of a family that got locked in by their servants and burned alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thing to have happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, I need an explanation of why I should be afraid of these. Because right now, these people sound like a bunch of alcoholics who fucking got easily Casco Amontillado by their servants and then set on fire.
Yeah, to me, because of the time period and everything, it reminds me of, I believe it's Lorelei.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my head went.
I can see that, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't find the antagonist compelling in this. It does give us one, though.
Yeah. So
that's one area where this one's better than the first story.
Yeah, but obviously you're going to have to flesh it out.
Yeah, I mean, who are these Fairchilds? Is it a mom and a dad and two? What's the family?
Yeah.
Like who are these people? I have no image of who this family is, other than they got burned alive by their servants and they pissed off. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I know about them. I'd almost rather not have the antagonist, so that way I can just create one.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like I said, the story's inconsistencies. Like, I get it. You can have a ruin of a place that burned out. But that also doesn't sound like a very impressive haunted attraction. You know, just an empty shell of a building after a fire. I think, you know, you could make it so that maybe they were locked inside a barn that they were holding the party in. They were holding the party in a barn away from the manor. Uh-huh. And that way, that barn's gone. Yeah. But you still have the house, and the house is decaying and crumbling because it's been goddamn near 200 years. You know?
And if you go by ghost rules, then they're bound to the property, not necessarily the building.
Exact building, exactly. Because, like, watch Ghost on CBS. We're playing by their rules.
Exactly.
Because all the ghosts there, for reasons not clear to me, are able to freely roam the property, even though many of them died before it was property. Yeah. Because the Viking, the indigenous person, they all died before it was anybody's property.
Yeah, Thorin's As should be able to
just go anywhere, because fuck it, they should be able to nap off, because when they were there, it was just open land. No one owned anything. You just fucking roamed it, right? So they should be able just to nap off anytime they want. Mm-hmm. The others who were there when it was a manor, that makes at least a degree of sense. Yeah. But like there are some that definitely died. I couldn't remember their names. Thank you for helping me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they died before it was divided up in any appreciable way. So I have no idea why they're retroactively bound to it. No. But no, I this one's just got too many plot holes. I think ChatGPT does better elsewhere. I'm gonna give this 1 star or 1.5 stars. I give them a 1.5 because they gave me an antagonist that I can easily picture and flesh out quickly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one's just no.
So I'm going to give it 3. Okay. Because I liked it better than the first story. And I liked that it wasn't... I think that it hit more of the markers in the first story.
I will agree that it hit more markers, but the story itself, to me, I cannot stand the fact there's so many inconsistencies in the story. Yeah. I mean... So I'm sorry, this is not even an average one. I would... Like, an average one is one, okay, the story's okay for a specific haunt, and I'll have to flesh it out.
You can tell that this is why we don't do stars. Yeah. Because we never talked about what the rating is going to be about.
I don't know either. I'm making it up as I go.
I could tell.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I found out as soon as you said it, hey, we're doing star ratings. Okay.
But no,
Now we're here.
This is a conversation. This is a
I
podcast.
know.
This is good. All right. Let's move on to story number 3.
All right. In the early 1900s, Blackwood Manor was the grandest estate in the county. The sprawling mansion was home to wealthy and powerful Blackwood family who were known for their extravagant parties and lavish lifestyle.
Kind of a theme here, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a pattern here. Anyways.
But the Blackwoods had a dark secret.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rumors circulated that they practiced dark magic and made deals with the devil himself. Some even claimed that they had sacrificed innocent lives in exchange for their wealth and power. One fateful night, during one of their infamous parties, a terrible fire broke out and engulfed the mansion. The Blackwoods were all presumed dead, and the once beautiful estate was left in ruins. But the legend of Blackwood Manor lived on. Locals claimed that on certain nights the ghostly figures of the Blackwoods could be seen wandering the grounds, and the strange sounds and eerie lights emanated from the ruins. Years passed and the remains of the mansion were left to decay, but recently a group of intrepid explorers discovered a hidden entrance to the underground catacombs beneath the estate. Inside they found evidence of the Blackwoods' dark rituals and even stumbled upon a portal to another realm. Now brave souls who were invited to explore the catacombs and uncover the truth about the Blackwoods' secrets, but be warned! The spirits of the past still haunt the halls of Blackwood Manor, and those who dare to enter may never leave.
Right off the bat, I like this one.
It combines the first two.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason I like it, is because it combines the strengths of the first one and the second one to me. It's a much more consistent story. I know why I should be scared of the Blackwood family.
Yeah.
Because they're doing all this black magic, hoodoo, voodoo, satanic shit, whatever they're supposedly doing. They're doing some kind of dark rituals.
Mm-hmm.
So they have supernatural powers.
There's at least 2 settings.
Yeah. You have both the catacombs underneath and the manor itself. And they actually...
And a portal.
Oh, and a portal, yeah. So you actually get 3 settings. This would be great for a large trail haunt.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put the focus on the manor itself, because there's way more interesting shit going on here than a decrepit manor. I want to see this fucking catacombs. I want to see this fucking portal. I want to see that stuff. I've seen a lot of creepy houses. I've seen a lot of ruins. Take me there. No, but I think this really opens up a lot of opportunities here for a good haunted attraction. And other than maybe wanting to spell out who the family members are and give them very specific identities,
yeah,
I think this is a good setup. I really do. I think this is, we got more to talk about, I'm sure, but this is like a 4-star one for me.
Yeah. No, I would put it up there too. Like I said, it's got sets, it's got an antagonist, you know why you should be scared of them.
And I can picture going through this haunt now. To my mind, this is a trail haunt with buildings and elements sprinkled along.
Yeah.
Like maybe you start out going through the woods, then you go through the manor, and then at some point you go down into these catacombs, and then go through the portal, you're in another world for a bit, you reemerge, you know what I mean? I can see all this.
Yeah.
It's all instantly just comes together in my head the minute we read this.
Yeah, and in my mind, it's a combination where you start out in a mansion, like, I don't know, mortuary or something, and then you get on a mattress and you take a slide down into the catacomb.
Or like 13th Gate did when they had Necropolis.
Yeah.
There was a stairwell that led down into a catacomb.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jim Warfield's
or
Raven's Grin Inn, where, you're in the house and then you're suddenly in the basement, which is catacomb-like, honestly.
No, I don't know. It really is. It genuinely is. So, no, I actually really like this story. I do not hate any. There's nothing, like, major wrong with it. I think, once again, whoever wanted to use it, will probably want to revisit the name.
Yeah.
Blackwood Manor, I don't know. I didn't Google it or anything, but I suspect something else has had a similar enough name.
Yeah. I don't really like it.
But
go ahead.
But change the name, come up with the actual family members and maybe figure more details out about how they're doing their black magic. And I think you got something.
Yeah.
I really think you have something here, and I'm very impressed. This is probably, I think, of the ones that we've gotten through so far, this is definitely my favorite.
Okay.
All right, so that brings us to story 4. Once a thriving factory, the building that now houses our haunted attraction, okay, that's just horse shit, don't say it that way, was abandoned for many years after a tragic accident that claimed the lives of several workers. Locals whispered of strange noises and ghostly sightings, and the building was rumored to be cursed.
Those damn locals.
Danhausen, he's cursing you. Years later, a group of intrepid explorers stumbled upon the abandoned factory and were intrigued by the stories that they had heard. They decided to investigate, but quickly discovered that the rumors were all too real. Ghostly apparitions, mysterious voices, and unexplained phenomena plagued them at every turn. Determined to uncover the secrets of the cursed factory, the explorers began to piece together the tragic events that occurred there, and they learned of a vengeful spirit who haunted the factory, seeking revenge on those that had caused the accident that had killed so many workers. Undeterred by the danger, the explorers resolved to confront the spirit and put an end to its reign of terror. They braved the dark, foreboding corridors of the factory, battling demonic forces and facing their worst fears. And in the end, they emerged victorious, banishing the vengeful spirit and bringing peace to the factory. But the memory of those who lost their lives in the tragic accident still lingered. And so the explorers decided to open the factory as a haunted attraction in honor of those who had suffered, to warn others of the dangers that lurked within. And so the cursed factory became a place of fears and thrills where visitors could experience the terror of the vengeful spirit themselves if they dared.
This is shit.
This is horse shit. This is double-sided shit cake. This is terrible.
Let's do -1.
Yeah, does the star rating go into the negatives?
It does now, because we're making it up as
we're doing the Dave Meltzer approach. We're going to negative stars.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is bad.
It's all over the place.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's no clear antagonist. There's no...
the fucking place is fixed before it opens as a haunted attraction.
Yeah.
We cured it. Now it's a haunted house.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And we're going to bring you here so that we can warn you about coming here. That doesn't make any sense either.
This is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. This is just bad. I mean... Oh, there is nothing redeeming about this story because, like you said, no antagonist, no characters of note.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's the villain here? Fuck if I know. You guess we've got to come up with the scary part of our haunt backstory. Thank ChatGPT. Yeah. Jesus Christ, you took so much work on top of. You put so much work on top of us. You know? Oh my God, like, who is the villain? Why should I be scared of going there? What is wrong with this place? Because, I mean, that's what kills me. It's like...
You don't even get to know what the accident was.
No!
It was just a tragic accident. And you and I, having been on a ghost tour in
Charleston, South Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, in Charleston, where every death was a tragic death.
Every death ever in the whole of human history is tragic to someone.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. It's like all a matter of perspective. My God. I mean, when I read this one, because like I said, we did, the first 2 came from the first session we did.
Mm.
And 3, 4, and 5 all came from the same session in ChatGPT, as far as ChatGPT is concerned, but like a week later.
Yeah.
I remember the first one's like, oh, ChatGPT's learning. It's honing. It's got a better story this time. Yeah, story 3. Let's go. Blackwood Manor. All right. This is something. Then it does this, and I'm like, dude, I am so disappointed in you.
It obviously has no idea what you want.
I mean, this is just bad. I mean, okay, is there potential juice in a factory accident story? Yes. Yeah. Especially if your haunted attraction is factory themed or you are in an abandoned factory. Mm-hmm. You absolutely can make that part work. That is not the problem. The problem is their story is a spirograph plot, if I've ever seen one, where it acts like it's going somewhere, but it just is doing big fucking circles the whole time.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's just irredeemable. I mean, yeah, negative stars, -1. I don't know, man. That was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Reading that was rough. And to make this a good story for a haunted attraction, you've got to start over.
Yeah, basically.
I think you've just got to start over because, I mean, and then here's the thing. It's like, okay, there was a tragic accident, right? So, accident, right? So then why are there demonic forces?
Who knows?
What? When did demons enter this?
And vengeful spirits, why are they pissed off?
It was an accident.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it's a tragic death, but if it was genuinely an accident and no one's to blame, and this kind of the same problem with the mine one there, and that we need to know why they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Because, okay, a mine collapse could happen to anyone, especially in the 1800s. Was, the head of the mine guy, was he like being a cheapskate and cutting all these corners? What's the deal here? Oh my God, this one is just so bad. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I have not had anything. There have been very few things on this podcast I've hated more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just god awful. Let's move on. Story 5.
All right. Deep in the heart of the Louisiana swamps lies a forgotten plantation house.
I remember this one now. Keep going.
Shrouded in mystery and intrigue. The house was once owned by the Devereaux family, a wealthy and influential clan that built their fortune on the backs of the enslaved people.
No, God, no. Sorry. We'll get there. Jesus Christ, I have so much to say. Keep going.
Legend has it that the Devereaux were involved in dark and sinister rituals, using the power of voodoo and black magic to control their slaves and cement their hold on the plantation.
Oh my God.
Some say that the family's obsession with the occult led to their downfall, as they were eventually consumed by the very forces they sought to harness. Today, the Devereaux plantation is said to be haunted by the restless spirits of those who suffered and died under the family's cruel reign. Visitors to the plantation are warned to beware of the ghosts and ghouls that lurk within its walls, eager to torment and terrify anyone foolish enough to venture inside. As you make your way through the overgrown gardens and crumbling corridors of the Devereaux plantation, you can feel the weight of history bearing down on you. You hear whispers in the shadows and catch glimpses of figures that seem to vanish into thin air. You can almost taste the fear and desperation that must have permeated every inch of this cursed place. But you press on, drawn deeper into the heart of the plantation by an irresistible force.
And an immovable object. Sorry. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Is it your curiosity that propels you forward, or something darker and more primal? As you approach the final chamber of the Devereaux house, you realize that you may never truly know. All you can do is embrace yourself for whatever horrors lie ahead.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Ms. Antebellum.
You're welcome. It sounded like it called for it. The story called for it.
The first minor note is, isn't Devereaux the last name of Blanche from the Golden Girls?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Which is why you get the I do declare.
Yes, no. It was the correct mocking accent to use. Right off the bat, a plantation-themed haunt that is dealing with enslaved people.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
No, that's problematic as fuck.
Because here's the thing. As a haunted attraction, as an entertainment venue, you have the uncomfortable choice of either completely ignoring the history of slavery that happened there, or not doing it proper justice with your story and with your attraction. Because you really can't through this medium. This is not a medium for telling that story.
No.
You know.
Now, as an adult, I have been to one plantation tour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the Whitney tour.
1,000% recommend.
Yes, it is a really hard tour.
Yeah, it is
because they deal with the history very respectfully.
And the whole point of it is to take an unflinching and unabashed look at the cruelty of slavery as a practice, and to take a hard look at the lives of enslaved people and just how fucked up it all was.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can think to say it right now. Mm-hmm. It is a very, very, very good plantation. A very good tour, rather. I highly recommend it. But
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard.
You know, we watch things on and consume media that we call vegetables and things that are just like dessert. They're just fun. Yeah. This is definitely a vegetable.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch Bob's Burgers in a minute. That's a dessert TV. Yeah. This was hardcore.
Yeah. But anyway, that can have that and have like they do have heads on spikes, but it's representative of the history of the place itself.
Yeah,
it's not for horror. It's not to shock and scare you. Well,
it is to shock and scare you, but it's to shock and scare you to teach you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different reason than a haunted attraction.
It's shocking and scaring you to teach you rather than entertain you.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between those two things. And like I said, and you're absolutely right, the Whitney Plantation was a tough visit, an important one. Mm-hmm. I'm 1,000,000% glad I did it. But it's on the list of things that I did. I'm glad I did it. I don't think I want to do it again anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I put Requiem for a Dream on that list too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things like that. This is not an appropriate theme for a haunted attraction.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm just flatly sorry. I don't think a plantation theme, and it's kind of weird because we talked about, because like old manors and old mansions are more or less a staple crop. It's the white bread of the haunted attraction business.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a difference between a mansion and a plantation.
Yeah, and there is some overlap.
There is.
I mean, but yeah, call it a mansion.
Yeah, doing and even like glancing through the history of slavery at the place is not good, because you can't do it justice in this format.
No.
This is not the place and time for this particular type of story. I do not know why ChatGPT just decided to go all in on slavery.
I don't know either, because it was just saying, whenever we asked it, what do you not do?
Yeah, one of the things it mentioned was racially insensitive or historically insensitive
Exactly. Things. It's like, you know this. Why did you pitch this?
This is why AI is not an intelligence.
Yeah.
It is just trying to string together words that make sense to us, without any real understanding of what those words mean.
Yeah, it should be automated information instead of intelligence.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. That's a good point. But here's the other thing. It minimizes slavery by saying they use the power of voodoo and black magic to control their slaves.
Yeah, that is not
how that happened.
No.
Voodoo, no black magic was required. Cruelty, abuse, and violence was all that was required. And all that was used.
And threats of separation.
So, between the enslaved people element and between using the last name of Blanche from the Golden Girls, I have fucking whiplash from this story.
Yeah. And, it's not as disorganized as the last story, but it's definitely not appropriate.
I award this no stars at all, because it just is completely inappropriate. It's not on the scale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It exists in another fucking universe. It has nothing to do with haunted attractions, or at the very least, it should not have anything to do. So, of the 5 stories, we got one that is maybe kind of good.
Blackwood. Manor.
Blackwood I'd say was just good.
Okay.
One that was kind of good. The first one I think was kind of good. The Ravenswood one, I did not like the Fairchild one.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like story 3, story 1, story 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then story 4 is just a bad story, but it's just a bad story.
And 5 is
5 is
objectively
yeet.
offensive.
Is dude does not finish. It is disqualified. You do not get the pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to jail, ChatGPT, for that one.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in AI jail for that. That was horrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say 1.5 out of 5, depending on how you want to look at it, were possibly useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's about right. And we can disagree on which one's half useful. But we both seem to agree that story 3 was not terrible and actually could be useful.
Yeah.
I actually think that one could work and could be an out-of-the-box starter kit for a haunted house. I don't know, man. So many people said they use it for backstory ideas. I'm very curious how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And
Write us
admittedly,
and tell us.
Tell us. Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, so on. Let us know how you're using it. Because admittedly, we did not give it much guidance. We deliberately did not give it much guidance. We wanted to give it free range and see where it went. Did not expect it to go into slavery.
No.
Did not see that one coming. Gotta be honest. And for once, that's not a pun.
I know.
But how are you using it? And is this like your batting average?
Yeah.
Because right now where I'm sitting, it's batting maybe, 200 to 300. I don't know. It's not a great bet. It's not a great batting average for a storyteller.
No.
Well, on that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining us down this journey through ChatGPT's very fucked up not mind.
Yeah.
We appreciate you doing that. Please do take a minute. Check out more Haunt Weekly. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly. You can also find us in any podcasting app, pretty much, wherever you get your podcasts from. So until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week with an episode divisible by 8. I mean, by 4. That one is divisible by 8, too, actually. But it means it's time to do... Actually, no, it's not. But it's time to do...
The news.
Luckily, the news is not math. We're saved on that one.
Yes.
We'll see you all next week.